So each of us has a different way of connecting with divine energy to elevate our consciousness and our vibration. And so I want to review just a few ways, just in case you need some assistance. And how can I increase my light? How can I increase my vibration? How can I elevate my energy if I don't feel so happy? What can I do? So for someone like me, being out in nature is what does it. Even 15 minutes, 20 minutes out with the trees and the sun and the breeze and the birds totally lifts me, totally shifts me. I remember reading once that birds, the song of birds elevate our vibration. So it's good to listen to birds. For some of you, for many of you, I imagine, music is the way to elevate. And as Feya Dinda last month reminded us, it depends on what kind of songs we listen to, but some songs are made to lift us up. Some songs are made to bring a sense of calmness and sweetness. Some are high energy. Some have spiritual inspiration about love, and some don't. So choose carefully the music that you bring into your vibration, bring into your energy field, because it will shift you. And in addition to listening, we can sing, we can chant, we can dance, and we can drum. All these things really help increase the vibration, which increases our light in the world. Our vibration, the higher we go in vibration, the brighter our light shines. For some people, it might be hanging out with their pets or their children, because they know how to play, and we need, it's good for us to play. It's good for us to play. And then one more I want to share is water. I had a dear friend years ago. She's on the other side now. She was a therapist as well as a mother. And she said something once that I thought was really cute. She said, when kids are cranky, just add water. So you can have your kids play in the sprinklers, or put the toddlers in the bathtub, or let them wade in the gentle waves of the ocean. All these things bring so much joy to our being, right? And joy is what we need if we want to shine our light brighter. About 6 or 7 years ago, I heard about this workshop that I really wanted to do. Everything in my being wanted to do this workshop. It was called something like Healing the World Through Spiritual Light. And I thought, oh, I am so there, right? I believe that all of us probably chose to be here at this time on the planet to help with this really powerful transition that the planet is going through right now. And so light plays a big part. So the person who was teaching this workshop was Sandra Ingerman, who is a beautiful soul. Way back when, she was a biologist. And during her graduate studies, she had this project in mind, this theory, not this theory. She wanted to discover if there was a way to transform our polluted waters. What can we do to bring purity back to our polluted waters? Very worthy goal. I really honor her for this. Well, at some point in this process, she transferred to CIIS, which is the California Institute of Integral Studies, and her studies and her life and her learning became a little bit more esoteric. And she began to realize that light has the power to transmute and transform. And she began doing experiments, and she would find that that when we learn to embody light, and when we learn to radiate the light that can be within us, when we access it, that it transforms situations, it helps to heal people, it helps to shift things like water. And it's such a powerful tool that we need on the planet right now. It was not unlike the work that Dr. Emoto does, right? Where he teaches us that our words and our thoughts have the power to transform the crystalline energy of the water. I mean, don't we need that on the planet right now, right? To transform water, to transform places that have sad energy or wounded energy or that have violence or whatever. Our energy, our light, our words can help to shift things. So, long story short, there's such a beautiful story here that I don't have time to share, but I was given a scholarship to go to this beautiful workshop, and it was held in Joshua Tree, California. There were about 70 of us there. And on about day 3 of this 4-day workshop, we were all gathered together in this hall, and she gave us an exercise that we were each to do individually. She asked us to do a shamanic journey to one of our guides. A beautiful assignment. And so we're all settling into our space, and throughout the room, people start to drum or to rattle to alter their consciousness to connect with a guide. So I am blessed because I know that there are several guides, many guides that work with me. And for some reason on that particular day, the guide that came to me immediately was Jesus. Now, I want to do an aside because I know that some of you might possibly struggle with Jesus. Some of you embrace him wholeheartedly, and some of you, whether because of your religious upbringing or because of you associating Jesus with a church that can occasionally be dysfunctional, an institution that can be dysfunctional, maybe you have some issues with him. So I just want to take a moment to address this. 1, Jesus is not Christian. Jesus was a Jewish man who grew up in a Jewish household, in a Jewish community. So just a gentle reminder of that. Secondly, even if you don't embrace the fact that he's divine, perhaps you can embrace the idea that he's a spiritual master. Because when he was on this earth, certainly he was a very gifted teacher, a powerful teacher. He was a powerful healer, and many miracles happened as a result of his presence on the planet. So in my mind, that's like spiritual master times 3, right? So I think we can probably safely assume that he is, at the very least, an ascended master. And thirdly, I personally struggled with the fact that I had some judgments about some elements of the church as an institution, and some of the more, I won't go into details, you know what I mean. And I was associating Jesus with these churches unconsciously. And so I was pushing Jesus away because of that. And through grace, I was given several dreams that helped to heal that relationship. And so I began to realize he can be my friend. He can be, I don't have to accept him as a savior, which was the doctrine I was taught, but didn't really feel right to me. Instead, I could embrace him as a friend and a brother. All right, so back to Joshua Tree. I was settling in, and I had this interesting idea that instead of journeying to wherever it is that Jesus was, I was going to ask him to come to me. And I don't think I even formulated the words, I don't think I even did. I just had the thought, and I felt something shift. I felt this beauty inside me and this love inside me that was really powerful. It was just glorious. I felt this energy inside me with the speed of that thought. And I realized I don't want to be in this hall with 70 people. I want to really integrate this feeling. And so I gave myself permission, even though we just started and people would probably be looking at me, I gave myself permission to walk out the doors so I could be with this feeling. So there I am, walking out in this beautiful desert landscape with the iconic Joshua trees not far away, and cacti and lizards and birds. And I was feeling so radiant. I felt like I was a walking star. I mean, I felt lit. I felt totally lit from within. Interestingly, I was wearing a long skirt that day. For some reason, I had chosen this long cotton skirt that went down to my ankles. And like I often do, I had a shawl over my shoulders. And because of the inspiration of this dream, this sacred dream I've had a few years ago, I decided to put that scarf over my head like a veil. And I was walking along with this long skirt and this veil, which interestingly kind of provided this illusion of privacy, which felt good because I was walking out in the open. And as I was walking with this veil and this long skirt, I realized, right now, I don't feel connected with Jesus as much as Mary. How interesting. And I thought, well, that's okay, because one, they're related, and two, they're both holy beings. And so I was walking along, feeling the beauty of this connection with the holy ones. And I had this epiphany. I realized that I was God. In that moment, I was God. And I was walking on God. And I was breathing in God. And I was gazing at God. And I was God in a field of godness. There was godness everywhere around me and within me, and we were all one, united in God energy. I pray that you all can experience that feeling someday. I know probably all of you here, most of you certainly, have read about near-death experiences or had one yourself where you were blessed to be on that other side of the veil for a while. And almost all of them talk about, when they came back, how do you put that experience into words? And what many of them said or struggled to say was, I felt like I was in this light, but it was so gentle, it didn't hurt your eyes. I was in this world of light and this energy of love. It was this ineffable feeling that the universe is filled with love. And they were part of it all. And then they came back. And they're here in the world that is oftentimes three-dimensional. And boy, that must have been so, I have so much compassion for what it must have felt like to be in that energy and then to come back to this density. So I share this with you because this is, I think, one of the most profound ways we can shift into a feeling of light. If we invoke the names, one or more names of a holy being or a guide or angels, and if we call them to come to be with us, I can almost promise you, you're going to feel a shift because you will be in their light and in their love. When you call their name, they will be there because that's their job to support us when we call on them. So when we call on them to be with us, we will together be in this field of light, and we as human beings, our vibration is going to be way elevated. And we are going to start to shine. So when you've all experienced the phenomenon of walking into a dark room. And you've experienced, no doubt, the shift that happens when one candle is lit in a dark room. There is this beautiful glow from one little candle, from one little flame. There's this beautiful glow that transforms the energy of that darkness. And then, of course, if many candles are lit, the whole room shifts, the whole energy shifts. It's no longer a dark room, it's a room filled with light. So can you imagine if we each are a spark of the divine, if we each are a candle with a flame inside our heart, and if we cultivate this flame so that it shines brightly into our home or our town or our country or our world, what a difference our flame makes for the world. And when each of us are together like this, or when we're together in person, please may it be soon, that light just, wow. Can you imagine how our light will change the world and does change the world? Can you feel that with me? That the power of our light to shift things. A friend of mine who is a wise being, not in physical form, reminded me a few months ago that light has two meanings. It's not just the light that shines in the darkness. It's the opposite of heaviness, is the opposite of density. And what I have come to realize is that when we allow ourselves to feel that lightheartedness, when we allow ourselves to feel a buoyancy and a joy and a playfulness, automatically light follows. Like both kinds of lightness are good. If we allow ourselves to feel the lightness of our being, we are also going to be shining a light into the world. So any kind of practices you can take on, gratitude practice, chanting and singing and dancing, being in nature, praying, any bathing, being around waterfalls, anything you can do to shift your energy into a place of joy and light will make a difference in this beautiful world that we are blessed to be on right now. So I thank you, my dears. Thank you for being light. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for being here today.